What is truth? In medieval Europe, people were willing to be exiled, prosecuted, tortured, put to death for the idea that the earth revolves around the sun. And this is something you wouldn't see happen in other parts of the world. In fact, this is a question that often confuses people in East Asia when they are taught about European history. Why would anyone be willing to sacrifice everything for this? Would you be willing to die for the truth? It begins in ancient Greek philosophy with the concept of logos. Truth is divinity. And it's something that was further developed as Christianity spread across Europe. The idea that God is the truth wouldn't be a too unreasonable statement for a Westerner, but it's a statement that might make no sense to someone in a foreign culture. And even as Westerners began to leave God behind them, Western atheists were willing to discuss the truth of atheism almost as if proselytizing, something that you don't really see happen with atheists in other sides of the world, because this has shaped Western philosophy. It's something that stands out in contrast to Eastern philosophy. Philosophy in the West is very occupied with trying to find reason. Which brings us to Mario. Mario breaks every convention of Western philosophy. Seemingly, nothing makes sense, and at the same time, everything comes together as if it did. Tanuki, Yoshi, Shy Guy, Boo, Koopa, Bowser. Would a Westerner be able to replicate Mario, or would they pursue too many things that make sense? Think of it this way. What differentiates Western art from Eastern art? Historically speaking, it has been realism. For a very long time period, Westerners have pursued realistic art. But eventually, Westerners lost the pursuit of realism in art. And a large part of it was the question, what is the truth of art? What does it mean to make great art? To be a great artist? Things began to fall apart as one couldn't help but ask the question, how do you reasonably explain what art even is? Instead, we need to look at what could possibly be pursued spiritually when one does not try to seek truth. What does it mean to embrace no logic? For example, East Asia does not hold the same spiritual or philosophical value that one might find in Western philosophy. Instead, what is comparable to truth is the concept of divine madness. It's something very specific. Even the concept of madness differs in the East from the West. In the West, you might classify someone as insane if they think too outside of the box. But in the East, it would be someone so focused, so occupied by one thing, that it has driven them insane. Think of it this way. What did the Buddha do? He kept to himself in meditation, a monk who refused to eat or do anything in pursuit of the divine, or rather, nirvana, the final spiritual enlightenment. And what does a Buddhist monk do? They are typically people who exist a bit outside of society. They are very occupied with very specific things, focused on meditation in the pursuit of reaching nirvana. So from a Western perspective, it might be a bit difficult to grasp with, but in the same sense that many Westerners seek to find truth, it can be spiritually equal to pursue the opposite. Mario exists as the ultimate philosophy, conveying the contrast of realism against the abstract. Western and Eastern spiritual guidance finally conveying ultimate meaning and lack of it. What is truth? What is lack of truth? What does it mean to show God and know God? The insane madman and the humble, dedicated worker, willing to pursue something to its ultimate end. Super Mario, an ultimate and incomprehensible being. And Sonic the Hedgehog sucks. He's not cool, his games are terrible, and Sega should give up. Because Mario is epic. If you would like to hear more video essays, please like and subscribe.